Good morning, teacher friends. My name is Katie Darling, and I have a capstone on creating better interactive read-alouds in early childhood classrooms. Last time we got together, I was talking to you about features to look for when choosing a book, and you can find that document in my capstone presentation page under Katie. For the example that I'm going to do right now, it's called Knuffle Bunny by Mo Williams. And the three things that spoke to me from the features to look for when choosing a good book for an interactive read aloud were powerful illustrations, reflective and diverse values and interests of the children in the classroom, and books that provide something that we can talk about with our students, because we want to increase the utterances and the interactions and the discussions and the deep thinking related to the book. Now, Mo Williams is an award-winning illustrator, and this book, well, it doesn't show it here, is a Caldecott Award winner. So it has very compelling illustrations. Also, it's sort of multimedia. So he has real photographs, and he has superimposed cartoons into it, and these are real pictures of Brooklyn, New York. So we're going to have some really interesting and compelling illustrations to discuss and to look at. Okay. So the second document that I created in my capstone was kinds of questions to ask during read aloud interactions. And the kinds of questions that we're going to be trying to incorporate into our read aloud are going to be varied. So it's not just what do you see or point to the ... But we're going to have, but some of them will be. So we're going to have some factual questions. In this particular read aloud, I'm going to be stopping and asking what Daddy is carrying, because it will relate to how the story, to where he's going, and also what Trixie's carrying. Inference questions and some examples of those, inferring, which is really great with good illustrations. We want our children to look at the pictures and infer what's going on. So some of the questions that I'm going to ask in this read aloud are, where are Trixie and Daddy going on their errand? Why is Trixie upset later on in the book? And what clues are the illustrations giving us? Opinion questions. Have you ever lost something special? How do you feel about it? And authorship. What would you have Daddy do to help better understand what Trixie is looking for or trying to tell Daddy? So those are some ways that I would interact with the kinds of questions to ask during a read aloud in relation to Knuffle Bunny. All of these documents are based on research, and I've linked those research articles to the documents themselves. So they're all grounded in data and theory. And then we want to talk about kinds of interactions to promote during the read aloud. Sometimes it can be labeling of the illustrations or focusing on words and meaning. For my preschool children, we're going to talk about boneless. We're going to talk about the laundromat. And we're going to work on some background, talking about how these are real photographs and how they were taken in Brooklyn, New York, that Mo Williams drew cartoons over the photographs, and what we see when we're going on a walk. We're also going to focus on some open-ended questions. What is Trixie trying to tell Daddy? Have you ever lost something special, and how did you feel about that? Under concepts and comprehension, we're going to do inferring, and we're going to do text to self and recalling. where did they lose Knuffle Bunny? So those are some of the things that I would be doing with my pre-K 3 and 4-year-old students. But this book is also good for your K1 students. You can also work on details from the story, and you can talk about the speech bubble in the book. You can discuss the illustrations and predictions. Those are all good things. So this would work for your pre-K, your K, and your firsties. Those are the 3 documents that I have shared in my Katie page. And then we're going to move on to reading this story. Now, this is the age of COVID-19, and so I wanted to show you my students. So bear with me, we're gonna do a little moving. Let's see if this will work. Sorry guys, I'm not good at editing. Here are my students. You see them. And I have put my taller students in the back, some of my students who have better self-regulation, and I have some of my smaller and more wiggly students who are closer in the front. We're all going to be sitting on the rug so that we have delineated the space and better understanding of where we should be sitting. We also have space between us, and because we're going to be looking closely at the illustrations, I know that everyone is going to be moving closer to us, and we want to get up close and personal with the text and the illustrations. So when doing your read aloud, before you get started, you need to set the stage, and you need to be reflective of less distractions, good time of day to be reading this story, being very clear and precise with where children are going to be sitting, and understand that they're going to be moving closer, so you might as well scooch them in with you so that they can interact with the book. I hope this was helpful to you. I apologize for any distractions. We're not going to record this again because this is number 4. And now I'm going to, you'll be able to see me read to my students Knuffle Bunny by Mo Williams. Thank you very much.